Yesterday morning, I was driving to a relative's house. I thought I had misplaced my key there. It turns out it was with me. I put it in one of my other pockets. But I drove up to this stoplight. I'm almost there. And I start to hear a car coming behind me. And it's going, this is a surface street. It must be going anywhere from 50 to 70 miles. And all of a sudden, it just rams into my back. I get knocked up against the steering wheel. I open the door. I look to see the damage. This hit from this car knocked out both of my tail lights, ripped off the bumper. And as I start to kind of question the lady that hit me, she claims that she couldn't see me, even though I'm in a light colored vehicle at night with lights. I don't quite understand how she wasn't able to see me. And I actually did ask her if she was drunk just because I couldn't understand how you couldn't see a car in front of you that was in lights. But we exchanged information. She got towed out of there. I parked my car somewhere else. I went back to my place, woke up, felt like crap, and I will just kind of go into this section of it. I've always felt, as someone who's been driving now for years, that driving at night and sometimes the more later hours of, I guess, early hours of the morning, 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m., that was my preferred time to drive around because I felt that with less people on the road, there was a smaller chance of having an accident. Oftentimes in California, the state with the largest number of people, we have these bumper for bumper situations, a lot of traffic, and there are instances I've seen of people just trying to, let's say, turn lanes and then they, hit someone who also was turning into their lane, or just other stuff that comes from just so many cars being all on top of each other. So when you're driving at night and you're going down these streets, you're paying attention to what's in front of you, that's where I can't really understand like why this had to happen. Um, you would. I'm not going to say driving at night is driving on easy mode, but I would imagine it's significantly less likely that you'll hit a car when there's not that many on the road with you. I ended up talking to my insurance company, and they said that I am covered for when I hit someone, but not for when someone hits me or if I have some kind of medical emergency. So basically, if I drive properly and don't strike a soul, but am hit by a reckless driver, uh, then I just have to hope that whoever hits me has insurance that covers me. And I went and called up her insurance company. They're giving me the runaround. They have this person who's supposed to, I guess, see the claim number and then kind of survey the situation. They were doing like a game of tag on the phone where you call them in the during office hours, they don't answer, then they just randomly call you 7 or 8 hours later, and then you call them back 20 minutes later and they don't pick up. So I have to hope that I'll be able to speak to them soon. What I really am so frustrated by, again, is that when I'm driving, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm this expert, but I make it a very clear thing to always look at what's in front of me, to look through my windows. I've had cars that have surprised me. You have that blind spot right behind you. You have to look over your shoulder. And to me, it just seems so crazy to strike someone who's in front of you. And it's not even like, oh, we're bumper for bumper and they tapped me. This is someone who was driving so goddamn fast that when they hit my car, I got pushed into my steering wheel. They had their airbag come out of theirs. Absolute mayhem. And I do these videos on all the different instances, not all of them, but just a lot of different times where you'll have people in different parts of California, a lot of times LA, other parts as well, who are leading some police chase, And I don't do those videos because it's just a fun hobby of mine, but it's more so to kind of highlight that one of the most dangerous things a negligent, irresponsible person can be in charge of is driving a car. Because when someone is not paying attention to the road or just simply doesn't care what's on the road, they can hurt and possibly kill a lot of people and just any person who is of the misfortune to be in their proximity. And I don't know what I can do when I'm at a stoplight and all of a sudden some vehicle is driving 60, 70, 80 miles and just rams right into the back of me. You know, that's even more insane to think about when you consider that again the light was red. So was she trying to run the red light and I guess just became blind when it came to being able to see my vehicle, or the fact that the light was red and she should wait until it's green? I don't know. But this is just an example of where this is the kind of stuff that is extremely dangerous when people are in these vehicles and they have no regard for anyone else. Cars are, I'm not going to pretend they're easy to handle, but I do believe if someone pays attention, don't get distracted by your phone, look through your different, mirrors, or if one of the mirrors is damaged on a regular compact vehicle, just turn your shoulder like I do. And, that's been a big part of the reason why up until now I haven't had any collisions or accidents, because I'm always trying to make sure that I'm looking all directions. Is a car coming from here? Is a car coming from there? Which is why it's so frustrating when, there is a possibility that I might have to pay to get my car fixed. And I just fundamentally think that should be the basis for the sequel to The Rotten Society. If I were to drive like a maniac and slam into a vehicle, I would completely understand paying to get it fixed. But you're talking about someone obeying the rules of the road and getting punished for it by having this crazy person just slam into them and getting hurt by it too, because my back is it's not the worst, but it is irritating me. And I'm just like, that's really crazy. You sit there with a car that you can't even drive during the night anymore because they ripped out your lights, and you're going to be punished by possibly having to pay to get it fixed or to fix parts of it. I mean, the whole thing is so screwed up. Like in a proper society, they would say, okay, this person's backside is ripped up, this person's front side is ripped up. They acknowledge that they hit this other person. Pretty clear cut thing. We need to reimburse them, get the car fixed. But you'll have all of this mumbo jumbo to get out of actually doing anything to correct the issue. I had this relative who was saying that he was glad I wasn't hurt, or at least hurt in some major way. And I said, what is so disturbing to me is that you really can just drive and try to always make sure that when you're behind the wheel, you're not endangering anyone's life. And then you have these crazy, deranged, bat out of hell characters that are just ready to speed down the street no matter what's in front of them. But yeah, if you don't see me on camera for a while, that's the reason. This shouldn't mess up, me making stuff. It is really getting to me. I laid down earlier and I didn't feel it, but after I got up, it started to kind of come back, and hopefully I can get it checked out over the next couple of days. I mean, I guess I can say that I'm glad I wasn't injured more or whatever, but I just hate that you follow the rules of the road. You always make sure you're looking all the different ways. You're waiting for a light to change. You're almost at your destination, and then some crazy person, some deranged dingbat gets to just strike you, and then your whole day is ruined. You have to start calling up insurance companies and finding out that your insurance company has some snag or stipulation that they only want to fix something if it's you messing up someone else's car instead of the other way around. It's all just sick, man. Just rotten.